Hello everyone, this is Shubh Agrawal and welcome to the channel. So in the last video, we left by making the rectangles in a 2D list that contains all the rectangles. So in this video, we will progress further with the code and we will start by making a function that will give us the position where the user has clicked. To be precise, the position of the rectangle in which the user has clicked. So for that, I will make a function. Now this function will take the mouse x and mouse y coordinates as input. So mouse x and mouse y. Now inside this function I will run two for loops. So I will say box x in range 3 and for box y in range 3, and then I will make a variable which will store the current rectangles, and I will say box x and box y. And then I will check for the collision between the rectangle and the end of a mouse pointer. Right point, then it will be mouse x, mouse y. And if it is the condition, then we will just return box x and box y. And if it is not the condition, then we will simply return none. So since we are returning some values here, so we have to make some variable and give the values to it. So for that, I will make the variable with the same name as box x and box y. So it will be less confusing if there will be less variables. So I will just call the function and give it the position of the mouse. Now guys, if you try to run this code, at this point it will give us an error that this is undefined, because we have declared the mouse x and mouse y inside of the if statement and their scope is only till here. So we have to make them global by defining them up somewhere here. So we will say mouse x equal to 0 and mouse y equal to 0, and this will solve the issue. So moving further with the logic of the game, we have to make a board that will keep the track of all the changes that are taking place, and we will use it for various functions. So let me just make a board variable, and it will be a 2D list. Now one way to declare a 2D list is this, that you type everything manually, and let me show you the other way. So if you want to assign a whole list to false and it is a 2D list, you can simply say this. This will make a list exactly like this. So you can do this or that, it's all your choice. And similarly, I will make another list. Used box, this will keep the track of the boxes which we have used, and it's also the same. It is actually an exact replica of the board list. Now to keep the track of the player chances, we have to make a bool variable. So player 1, I will say turn done equal to false, because initially no player has played any chances. And for the victory purposes, I will say player 1 wins equal to false, and player 2 wins is also equal to false. So after this, we want to display the cross and the 0 marks on the screen. So for that, we need a font. So in Pygame, first we make a font object. So for that, I will say mark font. I will name the variable mark font, and we will say pygame.font system font, and you have to type the name of the font. So I am using Helvetica, and you can use any other font that is installed into your system, and I'm using the size 110 because I have tested it out and it looks nice. So after this, we can start making our function that will actually display the marks onto the screen. So I will say define mark x, and it will take the position of the boxes as it will be making a mark inside of a box, and we will also pass it the font. Now we can start filling this function. So inside this, I will make a variable to render the font. So in Pygame, first we have to render the font. So here we are making the x mark, so I will say x and a boolean variable true. So this true stands for anti-aliasing, that is the smoothing of the edges of the text. and the colorful text, and then I will make a rectangle variable, and it will get the position of the rectangle which we are currently at, that is box and box y. And then we can simply say screen.blit. So blit method is used to display on images onto the screen. We can say mark comma mark rect. It takes two arguments. First the thing that we want to display. If it is an image, then here will be the image, and if it is a text, which is our case, so the text will. So the render method, and the mark rect is the position of the rectangle which we have got from here, and this list is getting it from here. Exactly the same way we will make our mark 0 function. So I will say it O here, and the place of this will be O. So after this we can implement the further logic. So if box x is not equal to none and box y is also not equal to none, then we will check first for the used box that the box which the player is clicking is already used or not. False, and player 1 turned on is equal to false. Then we will simply make a x mark, and we give it the position of box x and box y and the mark font, and we will assign the value of use box x to box x and box y to be true, because we have used this box after making the mark, so it will be true. And in our board list we will simply say that at the position of box x and box y we have made an x mark. Player 1 turned on equal to true, because he has played his chance, and then we will simply update the display. So for that, pygame dot display dot update, and similarly we have to make an elif condition. So here we can say that player 1 turned on is equal to false, and used box at box x and box y is equal to false. So if this is the condition, then we will make a O mark here, or 0 mark as you say. So we will pass the value of box x, box y, and the mark font. We will assign the value of use box to be true, because we have actually used the box. After assigning the value of the use box at the box x and box y index, we will also assign the value of the board. So board at box x and box y will be equal to the O mark, because we have done an O mark here, and the player 1 turned on equal to false, because O is played by the side player. So that's how we are keeping track of the chances, and then simply the update function of update the display. And after this we can check for the victory. So instead of this if condition, or actually outside of both if condition, we will simply check for victory. So let's run the code this part to check for any errors. So let me just clear this, and ipython game.py, and oh, I made a spelling mistake of false, F-A-L-S-E. Hopefully it's the only error, and actually it's creating a bit of problem. So guys, our code has a bit of a bug right now, so we will fix it later. So let's move ahead and make a function that will check for the victory. So I will say define check for victory. Now actually this will be a bit long and repeated method, but it's the easiest way. So I recommend you to pause and write the code. You can actually write it on your own, it's not a difficult one, but just try to do it. So we will just do a if condition check for the various board positions. So it will be 1 and 0 equal to board 2 comma 0, and we are checking for the x condition. So we will say that if it is equal to x or not. It's actually just the same condition here. So let me just copy and paste it, and here we have to change the indexes. So it will be 0 comma 1, 1 comma 1, and 2 comma 1. So guys, I'm pasting the whole code here, and you can take a look at it and copy if you want. So I have pasted the code here, and this is all the change in the indexes, so you can note it out. And you can see here we are assigning the value of player 1 wins equal to false and player 2 wins equal to false, and then we are returning those values. So this is for the this is for only the x condition. So for the y condition we have to do just the same thing, and here will be an elif, and instead of the x we will make an o, and here we will interchange the values, so false and true. And there may be a condition that none of the player wins, so we will say an else block here, and we will assign the value of player 1 wins to false, and also the value of player 2 wins to false, and then I have to return these values. So since we're returning this value, we have to make another variable up here which will accept those values. So I will use the player 1 wins comma player 2 wins equal to check for victory, and I will pass the board into it. And now it's just an if condition. So if we say that if the player 1 wins, then we will do the following stuff. So we will reset the board, load another variables which we have made, and will print out a message. So we will use tic-enter for that, or tic-enter, and left condition that the player 2 wins. Then we will do the same stuff as we did above, because it's actually the same. So this is the same as above, and there can be an else condition that no one wins. So then we will check for game over. So I will say tie condition here, and we will implement the logic later on. So actually in these conditions we have to say pass for now, because we are not writing any code here. So just type in pass on every function so that the Python doesn't give us any error. Let's run the code to check for any possible errors. So it's actually a bug, not an error. I will fix that, and I promise that. So guys, I actually figured out the bug. So in our function, in our LF statement where we are calling the Marco function, I have written here false, but here it should be true, because if it is false then it will not run, because here also it is false. So now we can run it, and you can see it works. So one more thing we can try is to print out the value of player 1 wins, player 2 wins, just to check out if our check for victory function is working fine or not. So till now no one has won, but you can see the player 1 has won, so it is printing out true. So let's close it, and this concludes that our check for victory method is also working absolutely fine. So that's it for this video guys, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.